Yo, 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 what is going on, good people? I love that intro. I'm going to let you know that right now.
Oh, that's great.
It is awesome.
See me over here dancing?
Yeah.
It's like a wrestling theme song. I just come out getting all pumped up before the show.
Just don't come here dressed up as Hulk Hogan, please.
I feel like
Please do.
you want to make this show sell? Dress like Hulk Hogan. It's great though, and you guys can attest to this. Before the show starts and the music's jamming away, I'm over here like flexing like the Hogan.
You are.
You were.
Yeah,
You are.
I do that every week.
I was waiting for the ear.
Eat your vitamins, brother.
Waiting for Ultimate Warrior to bust through the ceiling. You know?
Remember the crazy one?
Hogan.
What was it like the Saturday Night Live version of that? Say your vitamins, eat your prayers. I think it was all messed up. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Let's introduce you guys and see what's going on with yous. Bam, there's my lovely people. Yous. Yeah. Couple of yous guys. Yosh, what's happening, man?
Not much. Went out and froze and took some band photos yesterday.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was
you
a good
guys
time.
were doing the social media thing.
We are. Yeah. I took a hint from a friend of mine that was talking on social media this week.
Was it talking smack?
Talking smack about promoting the band and making sure that everyone's playing their part. So.
That son of a bitch. Who could that be?
I don't know. I think I'm looking right at him though.
Hey, every now and then I get inspired. Not with myself, but for others. Let's say, do as I say, not as I do.
You been talking to my father?
Yes. You guys get the new band coming out, though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
give it a plug, man.
Name of the band is A Reckless Endeavor. It's me, Sarah Mack, and Adam Ludovin, formerly of the Birdseed Bandits.
Yep.
I've taken a couple people from folk bands and kind of turned them to the dark side, playing some rock. So, yeah, we'll be coming at you soon.
Is it kind of like Bob Dylan meets James Hetfield?
No.
Oh, okay. Just check.
But yeah, go check us out. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a like, follow us. We're posting updates all the time when we're rolling stuff out. So
Right on. And you do have like a clip of your music on.
yeah, there's a clip on there, and actually we're gonna have another clip up. We did another clip yesterday. So.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Have to check that out. Scott,
What's happening, brother?
What's going on?
Yeah, too much. I'm kind of glad the swelling in my mouth's gone down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a puck in the mouth in my league game Saturday night, so yeah.
Of course you did.
Hey, because why wouldn't it? Why would that not happen? But hey, I was very lucky. Didn't lose any teeth. It was all good. So
You know, I have to tell a funny story about you and I, and that is we come up with a lot of the content that we do on the show here, for better or worse. And for the past couple of days, we've been sitting there going, what should we talk about? What should we talk about? And everything we mention on this show ends up on the NHL channel or ESPN when they do so decide to talk about hockey. But yeah.
I don't understand that. What's going on here? NHL, please, just have us on. Have us on.
Or at least give us credit.
You know?
He literally called me after last week's show. It was probably a half hour. Maybe a half hour.
Couple hours, actually.
Couple hours.
Yeah. Because it usually happens on NHL Tonight when EJ Radick and all those guys get on there. Mm-hmm. You can guarantee something that was talked about and all pucked up, they're going to talk about.
And what were we talking about?
It was about the Predators.
Predators. That's exactly what it was. And within a couple hours, boom, they were talking about the Predators.
Yeah. I'm like, and they're talking basically the same exact thing that we were saying. I'm like, really?
Just for a whole lot more money?
Just give us a shout out. Like, we watch this podcast.
I would love them to do that. I would love them to say, like, listen, this next segment, we completely ripped off.
Yeah. But, and I wouldn't even be upset.
No, I'd be cool with that, man. I would totally be cool with it. Just give us a little bump. Man, they do it to the baseball show, too. Yeah, like he said, they do it to the baseball show. I think I've seen it on, like, the football podcast. I got to tell you, these companies, these podcasts or whatever they are, they have, like, tons and tons of cash. And they hire all those people to just go out and scope out the internet. And
I understand that there's only so much you can talk about in a given day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are certain topics that everybody's going to talk about. But it almost seems like even when we come up with something obscure, all of a sudden it's like their stat of the day.
Yeah.
Or, it's like, oh, and by the way, it's like, yeah, by the way, you just ripped us off again. Thanks.
Well, I got it all in my mind. Now watch. You know what they're going to be talking about tonight?
Hulk Hogan.
She's got a new band.
Oh,
that'd be great, actually. Yeah, please, NHL Network, you pump up my band a little bit.
Like, no, we didn't steal this. By the way, Yoshi's got a new band. Oh, I love it. Anyways, let's talk a little bit of hockey here. First news up: Kofi's got a new home, huh?
Kovalchuk.
Yeah,
heading north of the border. Good for him. It was a 1-year deal for the rest of the season. League minimum was $700,000. There were some people were questioning Montreal. Why are you doing this? There's a reason LA got rid of him. Blah 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 blah. And Mark Bergevin, their GM, stood right at the podium in the press conference and said, "Look, he knows this is his last chance.
Yep.
Okay, he's got to buy in, or that's it." And really, for Montreal, what do they have to lose? I mean, they're ripped apart by injuries right now. They're shredded. So they got to have somebody come in anyways, right? You're paying the guy league minimum, so it would be just like calling somebody up from the AHL anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well take a shot. I mean, what's it hurting them? I mean, really.
Why not try it?
And to be honest with you, I still think that Kovalchuk, for as much crap as he takes because he hasn't played defense, and I get that, doesn't back check, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. But you know what, though? He still could be a very, very good power play specialist for somebody.
Yeah, he's still got a little in him, I think.
Put him on the fourth line, have him play fourth line minutes when they're at 5-on-5. Okay, obviously you're not going to have him killing penalties.
Right.
But what the heck? Put him out there with either your number 1 or number 2 power play unit and let him fire the puck because he can still do that. I mean, if Ovechkin can do it, okay, have Kobe stand in the same exact spot. What's the difference?
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I hopefully that, maybe him getting told that it's his last chance, that'll light a fire under him to do that. I just don't want him to see him get in the same situation he was with LA where he gets on the third or fourth line and discourages him, and now he's just skating around and
just
disappear, yeah.
But I will say that when he was in LA, to a man, each player said, listen, it's not an attitude problem with him. He's been great. He hasn't complained. He hasn't been trying to undermine the coaches or anything like that. He just kind of accepted it for what it was. Of course, that's very easy to accept when you're making $6.25 million a year too.
Absolutely.
All right. It kind of deadens the blow a little bit.
Deadens the blow.
But no, I think that, like I said, with Montreal, and especially, they were one of my dark horse teams this year. I really thought that they were going to make the wild card. And with the injuries, I mean, and that's really what's happened to that team. They've just, every time you turn around, somebody's going on IR for them. And eventually those guys are going to be coming back too. So you think. So good on Montreal.
I like the move.
There was talk about the Bruins and the Capitals jumping in on that one too, but he chose to go to Montreal. And obviously, it wasn't a bidding war going on because he signed for the league minimum. So, hey, we'll see what happens.
It's just he wanted to do it.
He wanted to play. Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. So let's talk about something else though, and this is actually kind of cool. We were kind of looking, and I mean there haven't really been a whole lot of games going on lately.
Well,
with the holidays and everything.
With the holidays, and then, you know what? I mean, I think we complained about this last week, too, but I'm just going to complain about it one more time.
Okay.
All right? They had 3 days off for Christmas. Then they come back the following week, Monday, 1 game. Wednesday, 1 game. It's like, you're kidding me, right?
We were looking at a couple
things
things
Hockey Fix was going crazy.
We were looking at a couple things yesterday. So, there's not like tons and tons going on right now with so few games happening, but there's actually something that's kind of notable that's happening, and that's 2 teams are both on 7-game win streaks. That being the Lightning and the Canucks, and it just so happens, guys, that those 2 teams play each other tomorrow night. Now, I'm going to say this. Strangely enough, they both had the 7-game win streaks. They're both, what are they? Let me see. They are both 6 right now in their conferences. And both number 3 in the respective divisions, which I thought was kind of cool. It's a neat little thing. But I want to talk about these guys, about these 2 teams, because I don't know. They've been so on and off, and now all of a sudden they're right kind of back in the thick of things. So let's talk about Tampa first. We knew that this was a better team than we've seen on paper for the probably the first couple months of the season.
For sure.
Yeah. So what are they doing different now that's it's a lot. They're playing a lot more confident. I can tell you that. But where did this all come from?
Well, that's amazing when you start winning a few games. What it does for your confidence, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that Vasilevsky hasn't been bad. I mean, he hasn't been the world beater he was last year, but he hasn't been horrible. It's a matter of them finally starting to gel a little bit. Everybody, forget that they still have to work younger players into the lineup. I mean, they're a team loaded with superstars, of course, right? But if you look, who their second line center is right now? Anthony Cirelli. Kid was playing in Syracuse last year.
Yep.
And he's on the second line for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay? It's one of those deals where you just kind of knew that this engine was going to get going eventually, right? And the biggest fear I think that anybody had around the league was this engine was going to get going at the wrong time for everybody else.
Yeah.
They've been stone cold right up until the Christmas break. And now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to win games, don't we, guys?" "Oh yeah, we remember how to do that." And so here you go. I mean, that power play is lights out. They're number 2 in the league right now, I believe. But I mean, things can only get better for Tampa, and that's kind of bad news for the rest of the league. Yeah. And by the way, when you mentioned that Tampa Bay versus Vancouver thing tomorrow night, that's all I can think about now. We're talking about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. The irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Yeah, the WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
It's too bad the Silverdome wasn't still standing. They could have played it there.
Oh, that's right. That is closed out.
Yeah.
So one of these guys is going to get slammed.
Yeah.
But, we were saying it before. Tampa lost a lot of, one-goal games early on in the season, too. And I guess we always talk about, puck luck. Maybe they weren't getting the puck luck that they wanted there.
Well, not only that, one particular person is finally starting to catch fire a little bit. It's Braden Point.
Yeah.
Now, if you recall, once again, the dreaded holdout through the preseason and all that, it just seems to kill these players as far as production-wise goes. Doesn't kill them in the pocketbook for sure, but their production, I mean, look what Nylander did last year. Sat out all that time, and he was really never anything productive for Toronto for the rest of the season. Braden Point missed all the preseason. What did he miss? 1 or 2 regular season games, right?
Yeah.
He came right back right when this, but still, you're missing all that conditioning, all that getting to know, you're getting to gel with your teammates and all that, and it hurts. And it takes a while to get caught up. But now all of a sudden, every time you look, Braden Point is on the score sheet.
Yeah.
So guess what, league? Not good news.
Right.
Stamkos has really been finding his game.
Yeah.
He's pulling his game back in together, too. I mean, you see a lot of 1-goal game losses, and sometimes it is puck luck, and I think sometimes it's lack of discipline, like giving up easy goals.
And we said that, too. I mean, when you've got all that talent on a team, you tend to, at least some teams tend to just kind of phone it in.
Oh, we got a lead. We got the lead. Let's get on our heels a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We got this. We got it.
So,
well, the thing is, too, they were expecting Sergachev, to take the next step this year.
Yeah.
And he really hasn't. If anything, it's more like a lateral step at best.
Yeah. Kind of made a sideways move.
Right. So.
I was reading an article last night, too, and I guess I probably should have noticed this, but their schedule looks like it's about to get considerably easier.
It's been I touched on that last week. The games they had between our show last week and right now when we're talking, it was already starting to get easier.
Yeah, the whole month of January is really kind of it decreases a lot.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's a big confidence boost for them. Get out and start winning some games.
Yeah,
and even if it is against an easier opponent, someone they know they should be beating.
And that builds that confidence.
Well, I think you could just see that you can almost point out the single game that where it all kind of started too. They were getting blown out by Buffalo.
Yep.
And they came back and they won in Buffalo. And that's a division opponent. Whether anybody thinks the Sabres are any good or not, that's your own opinion. But when you go into Buffalo, I think they were down 4 goals. And they came back. And then they won in overtime. And then all of a sudden, here we go. Boom. And that's when it started taking off.
But they were also pointing out in this article, the number of how they determine, these are typically your above the line games or teams rather, and they played a number of really tough opponents in those first couple months. So, I think things should start to come around for them. They obviously already are. Let's talk a little bit about Vancouver because obviously they're in the same boat right now. In Vancouver, I'm looking at it right now. They went 5-7-3 in the month of November, and they carried that over into December, going 3-5 before they started the 7-game win streak. So I guess same kind of question. What clicked for them? Because same thing. Confidence is soaring right now.
Well, it's a tale of two teams really. Yeah. They started off the season hotter than a firecracker, if you recall. And then they kind of recoiled, and everybody said, "Oh, that's the Vancouver Canucks. There we go."
Right.
And now they're back. I was beating the Vancouver drum right from the get-go in this season. I don't know. And I hate to be that I told you so guy, but they were my dark horse pick. I like what they've got in that top 6.
Yep.
Everybody called them crazy for trading a first-round pick to get JT Miller. I think that pick is actually lottery protected. So if they do happen to miss the playoffs this year, I believe that carries over to next season. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to look that up. But what a fit he's been there, huh? JT Miller. Honestly, the guy's an all-star in my opinion. And you look at the depth they got down the middle now. You got Elias Pettersson. Yep. Okay, Bo Horvat's having a heck of a season. And they're getting Brandon Sutter back, who really, to me, could be one of the best third-line centers in the league. Tanner Pearson's having a career year. The guy's career is reborn in Vancouver. And you know who else has been outstanding for them is Jacob Markstrom.
Absolutely.
Former Utica Comet, our hometown boy, yeah. Jacob Markstrom.
I think it was Yoshi was just saying he saw him in Walmart at one point.
Yeah, the year they went to the Calder Cup Finals, it was the Friday of Memorial Weekend, and I had stopped at Walmart to grab a couple things before I went up camping.
Yep.
And not to be a creep, but I was definitely being a creep. I saw because I kind of knew he drove a Jeep, and I saw him walking up from the Jeep. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Jacob Markstrom. So then I'm walking around Walmart, and I'm not trying to follow him.
Were you stalking him?
I was, 100%. So they went down an aisle, and I kind of went around and came up the other aisle, and he was standing there. And Markstrom's, I'm tall. I'm 6'3", 6'4", depending on what convenience store I'm leaving. Markstrom's 6'6", so he's tall.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for him to hide in a crowd.
Yeah. He was looking at bins and stuff, and I was like, "Are you Jacob Markstrom?" He looks at me, he goes, "Yeah."
You can stop following me now.
Yeah, I shook his hand, and I said, "Hey, great job so far in the playoffs and everything." And they ended up losing in the finals that year, but
right on. But he has been playing.
Been outstanding.
Yeah.
And going into this year, they were almost talking about that being a timeshare between him and Thatcher Demko, because Demko is considered the goalie of the future. But then, and Demko got off to a great start too. Mm-hmm. Everybody did in that first part of October, going into the first week of November.
Yeah.
They couldn't lose. But then Demko got that concussion. And then Markstrom kind of went on a cold streak. It's uh-oh, now what do we do, right? Yeah. But then Markstrom found his game. Demko's back now, but I'll tell you, Markstrom's getting the most of the starts, so you can forget about timeshare for now.
Oh yeah, there's no timeshare at all.
And you know what else for Vancouver too? They got Alex Edler back to go along with Quinn Hughes, who's been fantastic this year, and even Tyler Myers in this whole 7-game win streak has found his game.
Yep.
So when they got all the engines clicking, they're a very, very dangerous team. And I'll tell you what else. That Pacific Division is still wide open.
Oh yeah,
they could conceivably still end up winning that division.
We're gonna talk a little bit more about that in the second.
Oh, did I give a little bit away?
No. That's what they call a sneak peek, right?
Yeah, a little preview.
We're talking about that a little bit more. Yeah. But so obviously these two teams, like we mentioned, are meeting on Tuesday night, tomorrow night. I guess give us a little preview. What are you guys expecting?
It's in Tampa, right?
Is it in Tampa?
I think it's in Tampa.
I didn't look. We'll say yes for.
I think it is, and I believe that kicks off a road trip for Vancouver. So that's very, very tough to fly across the continent.
It's got
to go into Tampa Bay.
It's got to be because they play Florida right after that.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a murderer's row right there. Mm-hmm. But it should be a good game. It's going to be interesting to see the lightning speed versus that heavy forecheck that the Canucks have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I almost kind of tend to believe that Tampa Bay is going to win that game, just for the simple fact that they're just coming east. You lose that 3 hours sleep. There's that whole dynamic to it. But it should be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way by any stretch of the imagination.
There's a whole article that I was looking on here about the Canucks and their winning streaks over the last however far away back you want to go. This says let's see. The Canucks extended their winning streak. It's like they've gone on 2 winning streaks since 2010 or something. It's not a great stat at all. But there's a whole history that's going on here when they play the Florida Panthers. I'm going to read up on it. I'll chime in a little bit. But yeah, man, there's a whole thing. Let me see if I can post that article for you guys.
Against the Panthers?
Yeah. It says loss to the Panthers would be a fun bit of happenstance, marking as it would be the only fourth win streak in franchise history to last through January 7th. And I guess from what they're saying, the last one that they went on must have been spoiled by Florida. So maybe that's their kryptonite, I guess. I don't know. Interesting. So
okay.
But yeah. Anyways.
So I'll expect to see that mentioned on NHL tonight. Probably either tonight or tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, it's one of those
especially if Vancouver wins against Tampa Bay, you'll be hearing that Wednesday night. Guarantee it.
Oh, look at hold on here. We're getting some comments here from Mazat. I haven't heard from Mazat in a while. Let's see. He was asking us about. Oh, that's going back to Covey. And there's what's Yoshi think of Shostorkin coming up?
I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't think the Rangers will see him until next season, though.
Yeah,
honestly, especially now that Georgiev can't get sent down without having to clear waivers.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot there, didn't they?
I apologize. I didn't even see you were chiming in until just a second ago.
Hartford's been crazy. Hartford has only lost 3 games at home this season. 3.
Oh.
That team is nuts, and it's honestly it's great to see that there is some kind of future for the Rangers, but how long that's going to take is maybe a couple seasons.
We have a new thing today, Scott. Todd was working overtime on doing your trivia.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate that.
So we're going to try this out. And you have trivia for us?
I do.
Okay, let me see if I can dial this in. So let's see here. This is either going to go really right or really wrong. Here we go. Go ahead, my friend.
Wow.
You get music right over it. Todd, right over it. Yeah.
I like this. Great job, Todd. Okay, today's breakaway trivia. You know the rules. I'm the goalie. You're on a breakaway against me. To light the lamp, you got to answer my question correctly. So, in honor of us moving into a new decade, I want to take one last look back at the old decade, that being the 2010s. And my question for you this week is, what NHL goaltender has the most wins for the 2010s decade? The answer when we come back.
Go ahead, Scott.
All right, and we're back with breakaway trivia. I'll give you the question one more time just to give you one more extra second to think about it. So my question this week is, what NHL goaltender has the most wins for the 2010s decade? What do you guys think?
Jimmy Howard.
Nope.
Mazzotti said Lundqvist.
Nope.
I'll say Fleury.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah?
ding. Rich Masucci.
Boom, from the point.
Boom. It pains me to say it, but yes, it is Marc-Andre Fleury. He has 307 wins for the whole decade.
Wow. Travis chiming in, too. He got it also.
Wow. How about that, huh?
I think he looked it up. Travis, you look that up? He'll let us know. Where's my food truck?
I was just going to say, where is our Riggies?
I've been waiting on Riggies here, Travis.
We're always talking about getting Travis down here to cook for us, which fabulous cook, by the way.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So that definitely has to happen.
Yeah, Travis.
I'm sure he'll chime in here in just a second. But Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury it is.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There's your trivia.
And that just goes to prove that I can show love to everybody. Even though he's the Golden Knights goaltender, I can say, hey, credit where credit's due. He's got 307 wins. Good on him.
I know. Actually, as I think about that, wow.
He was the Penguins goaltender for most of that decade. Yeah. So.
You know what the funny part is, though? I mean, you don't think about him because of Matt Murray with the 2 cups.
Yeah.
You just don't think about it, Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I do.
Right. Most of us don't.
Especially now, every damn day.
When we're done with this round, I actually have some trivia.
Hey, all right.
Oh, boy. All righty. Okay. So, is it Penguins related?
It is.
Let me guess. Is it how many games Murray's dropped this year?
No.
Okay.
But it is Penguins related trivia.
Oh, dear. All right. So, for the second round, we're going to do something. I guess I know we did this a little while ago, but we're going to do kind of like a contender-pretender type thing. And give you guys both a chance to talk about a few of these teams that we've got hanging around the bubble right now. Like I said, I know that we did this, but things change so often in this league. I mean, there's injuries, there's team moves. My screen is turning off. And of course, just like we said in the last segment, teams just get streaky. So I guess obviously with the All-Star break here, it seems kind of appropriate to consider what some of these teams might be doing and what they need to concentrate on to kind of right the ship or keep things going in the right direction. And these are all right now currently our wild card teams. So let's see, we'll start in the East, and your first wild card team is the Carolina Hurricanes. Currently in the Eastern Conference, first wild card spot with 50 points, and they're sitting right now behind Washington, Pittsburgh, and the Islanders, who have 63, 55, and 53, respectfully. Philly is just behind them with 49. What do these guys have to do to kind of keep the momentum
keep pace?
going?
Well, they're actually right about where everybody, at least where I thought they'd be. Mm-hmm. I didn't really think they were a top 3 in that division.
No.
I just didn't. I wasn't buying it. And actually the wild card's wide open right now, so they're right about where they should be. The good thing for them is Sebastian Aho's starting to turn it on a little bit.
Yeah, he is fine.
Evo Teravainen started to play really well as well. That's kind of weird, huh? Play really well as well. But anyways, I tell you, I'm just still not a believer in Pete Mrazek. I don't know what it is. I think maybe because watching him in Detroit all those years where he was lights out and then just awful, I kind of just keep waiting for that to return. You know what I mean? I wonder. And, good on them to get James Reimer to back him up. James Reimer's been a great backup for his entire career. But I don't know. I just they keep talking that Justin Williams is going to come back, possibly. I love Justin Williams. Great player. I wish he never left L.A. I understand why. What happened, but I don't know if he's going to be that much of a difference other than maybe in the locker room, which is maybe what they need. Maybe that glue to come back to hold everything together. But I think they're going to be in the contention for the wild card for the rest of the season, obviously. But I don't think they're going to be top 3, and I don't think you're going to see a run out of them this year like you did last year. They kind of caught everybody off guard last year.
Right.
But now they're letting leads slip away that they wouldn't have let slip away towards the end of the last season. There just doesn't seem to be that same momentum that they had. They still have to highlight every storm surge they do and blah, 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 blah. But,
I know
we don't see that as much anymore.
Giant fan of the surge.
Yeah. Well, since we were talking about wrestling earlier, we're talking about gimmicks.
Well, let me throw this one out there, too. Florida Panthers. They are fourth in the Atlantic right now with 49 points. And trail the Bruins are 59, Toronto at 53, and Tampa with 52. Besides Philly, who has 49 also. They're also looking to stay ahead of Columbus, 46, and Buffalo with 45 points. That's a lot of points coming at you. But, when we look right at that, and you mentioned it earlier, Columbus starting to
all
find
of a sudden, here they come, right?
Yeah. So, you've got 3 teams that are going to be competing there, I think. Being Philly, Columbus, and Buffalo.
Yeah. And don't count Buffalo out just yet. They're still there.
Yeah.
I know it's so Buffalo to do this, start off hot and then drop off the face of the earth.
So Buffalo.
It is. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Sabres fans and all that because, like I said, to me, that's one of the best fan bases around and they deserve to have a winner. But I want to touch on Florida just really quick. Sergei Bobrovsky's got to get it going. He's been pulled 3 times in the past month. That's not what you wanted when you threw a boatload of money at him. And I understand not all of it's his fault, but when you are the star goaltender, you're the big free agent acquisition. Sometimes, I'm sorry, but it goes along with the position. You just got to steal games for your team sometimes.
Yep.
When you're getting that kind of money and you're that kind of hype, it's got to be at some point, geez, he got peppered with 55 shots, but he won the game for him. That's what he was doing in Columbus, and I think that's what Florida was expecting. Florida also does need one more defenseman, more or less a shutdown defenseman. That team does not need any more offense. They got plenty. But as far as the defensive end, that's what people were saying right from the start, that was going to be their Achilles heel, right? Shallow on D, which is kind of starting to show now a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they can overcome it, and they got enough where they can make a move to get another defenseman. But it ultimately comes back to Bobrovsky. That's what they brought him in for. And that's what he's got to start doing, especially for my fantasy team, too, because I really use the help there.
He's actually sitting on the waiver wire in my fantasy. Nobody.
He's about to sit on waiver wires.
Josh, what do you think on it?
Rich's eyes lit up when I said that.
I gotta agree with Scott. Bobrovsky's got to lock it in a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's just it's either he's stellar or he's letting 5-6 goals in, and it's just not acceptable. You're paying a guy $10 million, and he's let in the second most goals out of I think Gibson is the two $10 million goalies there are sitting at the highest goals against in the league. So,
I mean, do you think as I look at that, because we were talking about Philly last week, they're about right where we expected. Think you're going to get any kind of run out of them?
Well, Florida, maybe. I can't really make a decision either way on them because I mean, Bobrovsky could just suddenly remember how to play goal and that might be enough to turn the team around, or they could make it move and get another defenseman.
And it's funny you say that because that's what happened last year in Columbus. Remember, he wasn't doing so well, and then all of a sudden, that last 5 weeks, he was unbeatable.
Yeah,
he just found it, bang, like that.
If they get in, it'll be a sneak in on a wild card. But I don't see it happening.
Let's jump to the West here, and the Edmonton Oilers, who were once soaring. We were talking about them at the beginning of the season. They were kicking some ass. Yeah. They took a little bit of a nosedive over the last month, and they now find themselves in the first wildcard spot in the West with 49 points. Vegas, Arizona, and Vancouver, after this 7-game win streak, are all sitting ahead of them in the Pacific. Let's talk about the Oilers. What's going on with them right now?
Wildly inconsistent. Wildly. From their goaltending right up all the way through. I mean, Mikko Koskinen was at moments lights out, could not beat the guy, and then all of a sudden he's a sieve.
4 goals, 5 goals, 4.
The same thing can be said for Mike Smith too. You know, and it's very hard to establish any kind of consistency when you're letting in goals that shouldn't be let in. Another team that's got all the offense in the world, but needs to tighten it up overall defensively, of course. I think it would actually help them to split up McDavid and Draisaitl for a little bit. Try to get some depth throughout the entire lineup. They're great when they're together. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of look at the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? How often do you see Crosby and Malkin on the same line together?
Never, except for on the
power play, right? So there you go. They have got to be able to be a more than a one-trick pony, And if you're Edmonton, if you're management, you have got to take advantage of the fact that the Pacific Division is wide open and get into the playoffs this year because that fan base is starving to get back into the playoffs, right? I mean, they've been in, once in the past 12 years?
Yeah.
With all these number one picks they've had, with all the, you got Connor McDavid, you got Leon Draisaitl, you got to do something. Something's got to give.
The window is closing with a lot of this.
And it was never really that open.
That's true.
To be honest with you. There was always a screen in that window. So, yeah, the store window was open, but we still had a screen.
Well, kind of keeping right up there, the Calgary Flames, also sitting at 49 points, and the right behind Edmonton, and they're both competing for that last 2 wildcard spots. There's nobody else really in the Pacific. I guess you could say the Sharks. Sharks are at 42 points. They're a little ways back. They got some time there, but
the entire state of California kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
this is true.
Let's forget about all of the California hockey teams here.
But out of the Central, looking at, I mean, you still got Winnipeg, you got Minnesota, you got Nashville. I mean, they're all looking for a way into the playoffs. They're not going to reach the Blues. I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, we've got a lot of hockey to play, but for right now, for the immediate conversation, this is the way that's going to happen. So, what about Calgary? What do you guys see for them?
Calgary to me is just a middle of the road team. They're I don't know. There's just something about them that I just can't get excited about.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not that they're a division rival or anything. It's nothing like that. I mean, they went through the whole controversy there with Bill Peters, right? They got rid of him, brought the new coach in, who seemed to calm things down a little bit. But to me, Calgary is just one of those. They're like a vanilla milkshake, right? It tastes good, but there's better flavors out there. It just, I don't know. Johnny Gaudreau is finally starting to play better. I mean, he was terrible through the first half of this year.
Yeah.
And they got Matt Tkachuk and they got Sean Monahan. But then once you get past that, I mean, Mark Giordano is just defying time. I don't know how this guy's doing it still at the consistent level he is. But that one time their stalwart was their defense. Mm-hmm. So deep on defense, the defense role. And now Giordano's all they really got. If you really think about it, they got nothing else. Again, they're one of those teams that can get hot at the right time, take advantage of a very weak Pacific Division. And they could do it too, but to me, there's nothing about them to me that really stands out.
Well, Yosh, let me ask you.
You know what I mean?
Like we said, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Nashville. Could any of those teams bump in there?
Well, Calgary did just free up some cap space by trading away for Leak to the Sabres. And they're going to try to make a move to get somebody by the trade deadline. And who, they're obviously not going to say who, but, I mean, I've seen Kreider as a candidate. Evgeny Dadonov's a candidate. So they're looking to pick up somebody, and they don't want to get a rental. And I think if they can get some more depth on that team, I think they could definitely make a run. I mean, Rittich is the same thing. He can be lights out, great goalie, or he can be not so great. But I mean, playing in such a weak division, there's no reason they shouldn't make the playoffs. That's another fan base that's hungry.
Absolutely.
To get back in.
Absolutely is.
I'll tell you who's really impressed me, though, is the Jets.
Yeah?
It's just been an incredible story. I mean, I really kind of wrote him off at the beginning of the year when Buffalo decides he's on his sabbatical. I mean, we've talked about that. I'm not going to beat that into the ground. But overall, this team has just gelled together so well. I mean, Paul Maurice has done one heck of a job behind the bench. No, you're right. They're not going to catch the Blues, but they're going to finish top 3 in that division.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Not a doubt in my mind about it.
Interesting. We have another conversation that's going to happen in just a minute here about our favorite jerseys of all time, and I've been looking forward to this because I have a feeling it's going to be all over the place. But did you say you have trivia?
I do have trivia.
Oh dear,
Penguins-related trivia.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
As of January 1st, 2020, how many periods of hockey have the Pittsburgh Penguins played with a healthy roster?
0?
It is more than 0.
Okay.
It is more than 0.
1?
2. It's 2. They played 2 periods of hockey this season.
Perfect.
With a healthy roster.
It's awesome. It's exactly what I would expect out of them. Oh, my God. Let's take our last break here. We'll be back in 2 seconds, and then we will talk some jerseys. All right, so we are back. We're having a little conversation with Z over here, and he just informed us that the next person to check into the D will be the 666th person to do that. Let me see. I don't know if we can fit you in here. Hold on. I don't know how to work these cameras here, Z.
Just give me a microphone. I don't need to be seen.
All right, hold on.
Z stayed in the shadows.
I'd like to interrupt this special show for this special announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich Masucci has lost a bet.
Oh, yes, he has.
Yes, he has. And I know he's trying to avoid this right now. Yosh, you were there.
I was here.
You were here. You were here. There's witnesses. We have it. It's documented. There's audio. There's visual.
Let's go to a break.
The bet was, and you know what? The bet that was made on EC Radio back a couple weeks ago with Autumn Fire was if we raised over like $7,600 through animals.
Yeah.
That Masucci would go wear one of your Autumn Fire Girls spaghetti strap T-shirts. Autumn Fire spaghetti strap T-shirts on WKTV.
I said that?
Yes, she did. But I brought it up at Animals in the middle of Brass Knuckles set. I brought it up, and Masucci, in his drunken stupor, holding the empty Das Boot in one hand and tickets in the other. I think they were raffle tickets or something. And he goes, well, if somebody gives me $100 right now, I'll do it. I'll do it. Sure enough, our good friend, God bless her heart, we love you, Brooke Baker. She stepped right up, bam, slapped him.
Slapped a
$100 bill right there.
Hand.
So now,
Thanks, Brooke.
Masucci, and when's this KT WKTV telethon? Do you know when that goes on?
I think it's February 5th.
February 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what you got to do.
Yeah. I'm going to be standing behind the big check is what I'm going to be doing. I'll do it. I'm a man of my word. I'll do it.
I know you are. I know you are definitely a man of your word. But is there going to be do you have the T-shirt? It's an auto-player T-shirt, right?
I'll have to ask Nate.
All right, we got to make sure we dig this up.
If we don't have one, I'll just call Fred and have him make it.
It's got to be made extra small, please.
Extra large. There's not.
We're going to have to grease
Spaghetti.
it up to put them in these things.
I'm going to have to make sure we're one of the last up anyways because the people will tune right out. They'll see that thing and they'll be gone, man.
2 words for you, Misucci. Spaghetti straps.
Weight watcher.
You've got like 3 weeks, Rich.
Yeah, I got 3 weeks to drop about a ton.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a rough hill here. Oh my Lord! Did I really agree to this?
Yes, you did.
You actually agreed to that when we were on the air.
Right. It's like I said. It's documented. There's video. There's audio.
I remember
all of that.
And I was drinking that damn Das Boot, and I went. I shot my mouth off.
You did. You did. Somebody gives me $100 right now. I'll do it. Boom. There it was.
What a dummy!
Not even 2 seconds later, there was a $100 bill in your palm.
Damn it! But I will say this: we did exceptionally well.
Exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Did we reach over the $7,600 mark?
I'm gonna wait to officially show that when we write it on the check. But
all right.
Yeah, I think everybody's gonna be really, really happy. So
probably best ever.
Oh yeah, hands down best ever. But for not for me. For me, it's the worst day ever.
You did a great thing though, Misucci. It was awesome.
Thank God I already have someone who apparently loves me because after this there will be nobody waiting in line ever again. That is verified.
Are those T-shirts accounted for, or are you selling them?
I think most of them are. We just got those in, though.
All right, so I got to apologize to everybody on our Instagram. They're not for sale.
Oh, did you say they were for sale?
Kind of.
Yeah,
oops.
Yeah.
Well, no, you got to wear a spaghetti strap.
Yeah. I wear a spaghetti strap all the time. I'm always sleeveless.
You know what's great is Z bought a shirt at that night, and he goes, all right, where's the scissors?
The sleeves right off it, yeah.
Right off the bat. I got a mega... styled it. Yeah. All right. Continue on. Sorry to interrupt this broadcast.
Well, we keep going back to Hulk Hogan theme stuff.
I wish we can get you. You got to sit on this because it's the best jersey of all time.
Okay.
Even though apparently you're not seen. I don't know how to do this.
That's all right. Trust me, nobody needs to see me.
You want to slide over a little bit? We'll all kind of
no, it's all
like
good.
the Three Musketeers in the tub.
We're good.
Yeah. So the debate is
I like space.
who has the best jersey of all time? Best logo, best colors, right down the thing, all of it. Yoshi, you go first. Who are you looking at?
Can I do a best and worst?
Okay.
I'm going to do the worst first. The worst goalie and the worst goalie. Let's start that over. Worst jersey in NHL history. I'm going to go with the Islanders Gordon Fisherman.
Oh, that is bad.
That was really bad.
That Gordon Fisherman was absolutely bad.
For the best jersey, I don't know. I'm kind of partial to a few. I mean, the Rangers Winter Classic jersey from a couple years ago with the classic shield, and that one I like. Big fan of the original Ducks jerseys. The Disney sponsored Ducks jerseys.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to get much love. Look at him. He's shaking his head.
Hey, I grew up with Mighty Ducks, man, so that was kind of my thing.
They should have stayed on the studio lot.
Gordon Bombayed that one.
I mean, I guess be a homer. The Rangers jerseys have always been.
It's
simple.
Rangers.
It's very simple, which is I always liked about the Rangers jersey. It's not overdone. There's not a big crest on the front. Anything, just Rangers.
All right. Okay.
I mean, and then I'm very partial to our third jersey for the Utica Comets too, which is pretty fantastic.
You have like every jersey in the world.
I haven't worn the same jersey twice yet, have I?
I've noticed that. Like you open the closet, it must just be jerseys.
Jerseys and flannels.
Scott, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying my least favorites. Pretty much anything new from the late 90s all the way through the 2000s. It was god-awful time for jerseys. Terrible. All those attempts at alternate jerseys, and I'm like, oh, my God. But as far as favorites go, I got a few that I really, really love. I love the old Washington Capitals jerseys with the stars over the logo.
Yeah.
Both the white and the red. I thought those were really sharp
really
and
sharp.
really disappointing what they went to from that jersey. You know,
Yeah.
that whole, I don't know what they even call that side striping. But anyways, their originals were fantastic. I also used to love the old home Quebec Nordique jerseys.
Yes.
Loved them.
Good one.
Loved those with the fleur-de-lis along the bottom, you know.
Yes.
And that light blue with that red just was great. I think
I'll throw Hartford in on that one.
yeah, and Hartford, exactly.
Great.
Exactly. And that's why I think that was one of the reasons I was so disappointed with them moving to Colorado, the Nordiques, because for one thing, I always felt bad for that Quebec fan base because here they finally had a team that was going to be awesome. And then they leave and they win the Stanley Cup the next year.
Right.
Yeah.
And to go to one of the worst jerseys, if you ask me, of all time, that I can't stand it would be their home jersey now. The original with the A with the
swoop.
Yeah, and the maroon, blue, gray
Thing.
It just kind of looked like like one of those painter caddies that got knocked over, and they just said, oh, "Okay, well that's what we'll go with." Right. So, but if I gotta pick a favorite, and then it's really hard to do this. You know what I was always a sucker for? The home Minnesota North Stars jerseys the year that they went to the finals against the Penguins. Loved those. I love that yellow, green, white. It just worked so well.
Yep.
You know, and just another team that I was really disappointed in moving just because we weren't going to see that anymore. You know,
Right.
But I guess those would be my my favorites. There's several others out there, but in the interest of time, we'll stick with those three.
Let's see. Travis actually chimed in and he said the best was Don Cherry's Ice Dogs. Wait. The worst is the Devil's Christmas jersey.
Oh no! I think
those.
that's
I
their
think they're
best
better than the
jersey
ones they
they
got
have.
And then he said the Sabres one with the big buffalo was nice.
Especially
That was awful.
They had they had the Christmas tree jerseys when we had their AHL affiliate here in Utica. I've always been partial to the Christmas tree jersey.
I hated that old Buffalo logo that looks like a beheaded buffalo
Is
on
it
there.
the one turn
You know?
his head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
like
Blue, gold, and white.
it was like what is it?
No, that one.
That was
No,
the
the black, red, black, red.
The one from the late 90s?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Steve, so what's your
So when you're talking about favorite jerseys, and I'm not talking about like one-offs or any of that, like the special editions, winter classics or anything. I'm thinking iconic. That's what I'm looking at. You know, the ones that you look back in your childhood and be like, that's the jersey that I would represent, even though that's not my team. And that would be the Chicago Blackhawks for me. It's a very iconic logo. They've really never messed with it ever since like the 30s, right?
Yeah.
And it stayed the same throughout all these years, and it's still out there. So that one, and then the Oilers too.
the Oilers?
I like the classic 1980s Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier Oilers jersey from back in the day.
Now,
I can't stand those orange ones they got now.
Right.
actually, I was going to say the one
Painful to watch.
It had like a gear on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That
It
one
looked
was-
like a meteor or something.
And I think if you guys even know who this is, do you remember Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Todd McFarlane was like the designer of one of those, I believe.
Oh wow.
like Spawn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
McFarlane.
Yeah, he had like stock in the
kidding.
Oilers. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Today I learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only know that because I used to collect the action figures.
Well, yeah, I used to sell them I worked at KB Toys. It was like my second job I ever had. So I had
Yes.
all the McFarlane figures.
See how this all comes together? It just comes all together.
You probably were in there, and I was like, somebody's got to get this creep out of here.
Yeah, probably. You were
Apparently
probably
it's
like, oh, here he comes to buy everything again. This-
You know who else was really sharp too? The original Tampa Bay Lightning, with that black, blue, and white. I
Yeah.
liked it just with the silver X. I like that.
Ah,
I mean, the ones they got now aren't too bad, but I mean, they look more like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Tell you the one I can't stand is the Nashville Predators. It's like watching a bunch of highlight markers across the screen. It's
Yellow.
it's blinding.
Yeah.
It's too.
Yeah,
I can't
it's way
deal with
too
it.
much. You're right.
Way too much.
you know which one I hated was the Canucks, the old V jersey. I hated that, and then I hated the. There's been a few of them. Actually, let me tell you who I like because I know this one is going to shock the hell out of you. My favorite jersey of all time is the New York Rangers.
What?
Honestly, it is, but it's not the one you think. It's the Lady Liberty jersey.
Those are the worst
That's
ones.
the worst one.
I wasn't a fan either.
I'm sorry. There's two kinds of Rangers fans. Mm-hmm. Those that like the Lady Liberty jersey and those that absolutely hate it.
I'm the Lady Liberty lover, man. I love that one.
The ones that hate it are significantly outnumbered. Like, there's literally dozens of us that don't like the Lady Liberty jersey.
Yeah. I don't know, but even the Rangers jerseys have always been like classic, and kind of like you were saying, it's just an iconic jersey. I look at that and I'm like, hate the team, like the jersey. I just always have, and I'm telling it to the absolutely wrong crowd here. But
you know what it is, and what I don't like about it is somebody that obviously has lots of jerseys. Mm-hmm. When you have a jersey with a big crest on it like this, a big front patch, and you sit down and it just kind of mm-hmm. That's why I like the classic, just the regular Rangers jersey, just with the letters down the front.
Yeah.
Because I sit down and it doesn't look like I've got a big bulging pouch on the front of me, I don't know.
I'll homer it with one though. I did like the Penguins Winter Classic jersey. That was great.
Which one?
The powder blue one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think that was like 2011.
8, wasn't it?
I want to say it was 2011.
Was it?
Yeah. But
that was what they originally had when they came in the league.
Oh, look at that, huh? Mazzotti checking in. He said Liberty jersey was awesome. Bam.
Wow.
Bam.
Yeah. I'm surprised actually that he would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I didn't like about the Liberty jersey, or even their third alternate option there where they had New York.
Yeah.
That the Blue Ranger jersey is actually a very bright, kind of pops right out at you.
Yep.
When they came out with that Lady Liberty and that other one, it looked like they took their jersey and just soaked it. Dark. It just kind of, it's like, what is it? That was so bright and kind of. And then they came out with these darker versions, and it's like, what are you doing?
What's Travis talking about? He said it. We're converting you to Rangerism. And Mazat says, if you like the lettering, the Ranger Stadium series that says New York.
Those are sharp too. Yeah, my sister has one of those.
Yeah. That's good stuff. And
I'm setting the over-under at 3 days before the NHL Network is covering jerseys.
No doubt.
3 days.
You're right. 3 hours.
You're right.
Yeah. But, an honorable mention, too, to the Wild logo, man.
You like that?
I love that logo. Not a fan? It's got so much in it.
I just don't get it.
Actually, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, man. It's like the head, and it's got like trees in there.
You know what? All I can think of though is being John Malkovich. It's like inside. It's like inside of this animal's head. It's like what? I don't know.
That's what I like
the concept is all right.
Yeah,
but you got to remember what they replaced: the Minnesota North Stars.
That is a.
So I got just a built-in bias against it.
All right. Okay.
So
I will give a shout out to a jersey I actually really like this season too. It's the Boston Bruins, the big B without the wagon wheel around it, just the big B. That's actually a really sharp jersey.
I'm surprised you didn't say Vegas there, Scott, is one of your favorites.
Oh, really? Really? What'd you guys think of, remember the old Phoenix Coyotes when they first moved from Winnipeg? What'd you think of those?
Hideous.
Yeah.
Hideous.
I could never figure, you know what? I don't know what that was supposed to be on the crest. I guess it was supposed to be a coyote with a hocky stick. But I always
with
thought,
a weird eye.
Yeah, somebody was tripping when they came up with this jersey. They really were. I mean,
somebody went on and got some peyote.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Just go nuts, man. Just go nuts. Whatever you go with is cool with us.
This is what we got.
Went on a vision quest to see this jersey.
Good stuff. All right, let's get out of here for tonight, and or I should say today. And Z, it's good having you sit in with us, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see you on WKTV.
Yeah, me too.
In spaghetti strap T-shirt.
That's gonna be hot
with the Autumn Fire logo on the front of it. It's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna be right there next to you, pal. Right there, cheesing, smiling, holding a big ass check.
Mark my words. Before this goes down, man, I'm gonna sucker him into some bet. He's gonna be out there wearing one of them things.
I'm in. Let's do something.
Do it.
Let's do it.
So, all right. So, I guess for Z, for Scott, and for Yoshi, I'm Rich Masucci. That does it for us. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the games.
See ya.
Later.